The real reason Gavin Newsom picked Laphonza Butler. Hi, this is Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Thank you so much for joining us, tuning our way. I don't take it for granted you're there, and I hope that you are a subscriber to the channel. If you're not, please do so. Then smack the bell, click the word all to make sure that you get notifications of all of my rants, my ravings, and my undeniably flawless reasonings. Hey, and even if you are a subscriber, you better double check it, because every once in a while, YouTube likes to purge the membership rolls. Hey, please like and share this video. That's how we get the word out that we're here. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. I am not going to bury the lead on this. I'm not going to bury the headline on this. We're going to get right to the point. Why did Gavin Newsom appoint Laphonza Butler? Now, he had been on the record as saying if anything happened to Senator Dianne Feinstein, that he wanted to appoint a woman of color, i.e. a black woman, and he wanted to make her the next United States Senator representing the state of California. Now, we all know that Nancy Botox Pelosi did everything she could to try to keep Dianne Feinstein alive, basically rolling her around the Capitol, on life support. If anything, we could make a case here of elder abuse, that this poor woman really needed to be home, probably in hospice care, and yet they're rolling her into the Senate and telling her what to vote and telling her to stop yelling and screaming at people and basically having to watch over her the same way you would an animal that can't behave itself and nips and bites and you've got a safeguard. That's what they were doing with Dianne Feinstein. The woman had signed over the power of attorney on her own personal affairs to her daughter. That meant that she knew she was not mentally cognitive enough to be able to represent her own interests when it came to life decisions and financial decisions, and she had her daughter with full power of attorney. But this same person, who was not in control of their own faculties to be able to make decisions for themselves, was perfectly capable of voting and representing 40 million Americans from the state of California. You understand how warped, depraved, degenerate, and nasty Democrats actually are as they try to cling and clutch to power whatever way they can, and when they can't get it through the voting process, they simply appoint it or just, shall we say, select it and make it happen. Am I looking at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? I digress. I promised you I'd get straight to the point. So Gavin Newsom got the opportunity to make this appointment. Now understand, there is a woman of color running for that seat. I should say the nomination of the Democratic Party for that seat. But she's running up against Adam Schifferbrains, Nancy Botox Pelosi's choice. The guy that led not one but two failed impeachments against Donald J. Trump. Gavin Newsom picked Laphonza Butler. We are told she is this incredibly accomplished woman of color and will be the first openly gay senator from the state of California. Okay, again, I hate to sidetrack here, but why is that an accomplishment? Why does that make you qualified? Well, obviously, they're going to be a great senator. They're a lesbian. I will never understand this idea that in this country, we celebrate who people have sex with for an entire month. We give them their own flag, we give them their own statements and mottos and logos, and every business is somehow coerced and bullied into doing this, or they lose points and therefore they get boycotted, or they take a hit in sales, or they don't get to advertise, etc., etc., etc. And this is all based on who you're having sex with. And somehow, if you are having sex with people who have the same bodily appendage as you, hey, that's your big qualification? Seriously? Of course, it came out that she was not actually a resident of the state of California. She's a resident of the state of Maryland. That was even on the website of the organization that she represents, Emily's List. Now, Emily's List is an organization that recruits female voters for the Democratic Party. In particular, female voters who want abortion rights, which in California's case means abortion on demand right up to the time of the actual abortion happening. So that's who Laphonza Butler is. I didn't join the rest of the conservative media when they got all, worked up and bothered that she's not a resident of California. You thought that was going to stop Gavin Newsom from making this appointment? No. She owns an apartment, I guess, in Los Angeles. She'll just flip her residency back to California. I'm sure they got her registered to vote in the state of California this morning. So she's all set now to be officially sworn in as the replacement for Dianne Feinstein in the United States Senate. So, any of you that thought that the dust-up yesterday was going to stop her from being able to fill that Senate seat, not going to happen. Remember, some of us lived through Hillary Rodham Clinton becoming the senator of the state of New York. She wasn't from New York, didn't live in New York, didn't stop her from running. And while she was running, she bought a house in Chappaqua. And once she got to Chappaqua, the whole celebrity thing that she was a Clinton, Bill Clinton's wife, that's what carried her into the United States Senate. Not because she was uniquely qualified, it was all the celebrity power. My point is, Democrats can bend the rules and make whatever they want to happen for them. And if anybody else would try to do this, immediately it's an attack on democracy. They're undermining our Constitution, yada, yada, yada. Sham impeachment, sham indictments, sham trials of Donald Trump. But why Laphonza Butler? Why her? It's simple. Gavin Newsom wants to be El Presidente. And I told you recently in one of my monologues, the only way he can do that is he's got to slight the woman of color, i.e., Camilla thinks she's a Hottie Harris. That's it. I said that within the black community, within the black political structure of the Democratic Party, the only part of that constituent that is still solidly Democrat, black female voters. Black female voters. And they love Camilla thinks she's a Hottie Harris. Love her. Doesn't matter if she's not qualified. Doesn't matter if she has been the worst vice president in the history of vice presidents, and we've had some dillies, i.e. Dan Quayle. So here is this voting block of black women, the last real, what you would call rib rock loyal Democrats among the base. I'm wondering how many of you United Auto Workers Union remember that when Biden was running for president and he was addressing a room full of union employees, and one of those employees got on him about, I believe it was fracking, and Biden got up in his grill and said, "I don't work for you." Yeah, he's really the president of the working man. You union suckers that keep voting Democrat because that's what your union bosses tell them. There's when your union bosses talk about corporations and the presidents of these corporations and look how they live and the cars they drive and the houses they live in, you do know that your union reps and your union presidents aren't living homeless on the streets, right? You do know they're not living in double-wide trailers. You do know that they live in some pretty swank neighborhoods and gated communities and drive really nice cars. You know how they got that way? By pimping you out to the Democrat Party for votes. Just saying, workers. Pay attention to what's going on. Follow the money. So, Newsom knows Biden just isn't going to make it to the finish line. That's the open secret now. And they're looking for the Biden replacement. And if Newsom, this man of, transgender rights, this man of the LGBTQ community rights, this man for black rights, if he, as white and privileged, slights Kamala thinks she's a hottie Harris, it's political suicide. But enter Laphonza Butler, the first black lesbian. That's why she got nominated. That's why he appointed her. Not because of her qualifications, not because of her ability, because it's an optic. It's a virtue signal. It's a signal to black female voters who vote Democrat. Hey, please don't get mad at Newsom when he replaces Biden and Kamala thinks she's a hottie Harris. Remember, he gave you Laphonza or Laphona or whatever her name is. That's it. That's it. That's why this was done.